You're listening to Smooth 98.1, your love music, love life station on a money-making Monday morning, 16 minutes past 8 a.m., 21st day in the month of October 2024. This is the perfect time to talk sports because we're taking a walk into the locker room. Oh, indeed, we are. Welcome along to the ride. As always, my name is Ayokunmi, and it has been a weekend of sporting action all over the place. Banter is about to fly all over because if your team did not do well this weekend, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm here for it. I'm here to gloat. I'm not going to hide it anyway at all. But anyways, I don't do this alone. The banterer in chief is joining me as she always does. The one, the only Tega. Tega, good morning to you. Welcome to the locker room.
Good morning. I like the way you're bragging. This is a good time to talk sports because people wanna be. It's a good time to talk sports. See your
No,
mouth. All
it's a
right.
good time on a Monday morning. Come on.
I like it. Brag on, brag on. You have your break. All right. So this weekend, yes, it was bloody. So we'll touch on all the blood that they dance for. The good news for those people from London, those people that they don't know how to play football, they don't know how to make shakara. Those people
Mm,
from London.
we know them.
The
We
good
know them.
news for you is that you have companionship. So that's all that is going to help you today. All right. So we'll touch on the London teams that didn't do well this weekend. We'll also touch on some IFAB laws. Some people were very angry that Manchester City's second goal was allowed to stand. We'll touch on what and why. What else is there? Oh, first of all, let's just announce that the Flamingos are doing well.
Oh,
They won
yeah.
their second, yeah, they won their second match by I think 4 goals to 1,
Mm,
beating Ecuador. So that's they're really teaching people over there that we are good. All right, so let's see how it goes for the Flamingos of Nigeria. We'll also do some small Thanksgiving because the comedian on the Super Eagles team had came very close to having a bad story this weekend. But so
mm,
we'll do Thanksgiving
indeed.
this morning
Indeed.
because all is well and fine with him. So we'll touch on all those stories and more inside the locker room this morning. But before we do any touching, Ayokomi, how can we be a part of the locker room?
Thank you for asking that question, Tega. For all everyone out there, just to be a part of the locker room this morning, join us in the banter. Of course, share your thoughts on the stories as well. WhatsApp is the way to go. 0809 444 0981 is the WhatsApp number. Let me take that again a bit slower in case you don't have the number. In case you're just tuning in for the first time, you are most welcome. 0809 444 0981. You need to write that down. The studio line, if we decide to open it, if and when we decide to open it, 0201 4489 981. You can also join us on YouTube and drop your comments there. It's at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, let's jump right into the nitty gritty of what we have come to do. And we're starting with Formula One, where the title battle between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris erupted in controversy at the United States Grand Prix after the McLaren driver was penalized for passing his rival for third place off the track.
All right, so I've said it. It seems like every time they want to make an excuse for something, they'll be like, but Max, when it comes to Max, you don't expect him to do that. I've heard it from the commentators, I've heard it from the drivers, I've heard it from team owners, and this guy can just get away with literally anything. All right. So let's start from what happened yesterday. At the start of the race, as usual, Lando Norris got pole position. Max Verstappen was in second, so we expected a battle. But we also know that Lando Norris does not know how to start races well. In fact, he will win pole position, they will overtake him on the first lap. It happens. I don't know what it is that doesn't he needs to learn how to start races very well. So yesterday, the same thing happened. The lights went off. Lando Norris started well. I didn't think it was the most perfect start, but he was still ahead. And then he tried to close Max Verstappen off. Max Verstappen now drives and pushes him off the track. So he has to back down. And whilst they were fighting, Charles Leclerc was just tiptoeing around them. He was like, "Thank you, Jesus." You know how it is. You people are fighting for first position, but you left the first position open. So they were fighting for first position, and Charles Leclerc just tiptoed around them and got into first position and just started driving on his own. So Max Verstappen got off the track, but was able to keep the position. I was surprised. The stewards didn't even note it to say that let's note it and we'll look at it later. And then Carlos Sainz had a good look at Max Verstappen, dived in, and almost overtook Max Verstappen. Again, Max Verstappen in defending went off the track. In fact, this time he was not just off the track, he was in a completely different time zone. And then came back on ahead of Sainz. And again, the stewards didn't note anything. All right. So that's two incidents. I've talked about when he battled Lando Norris, when he battled Charles Leclerc. Now, another incident happened again on the track. This time it was George Russell battling Valtteri Bottas. And just about the same corner, George Russell, in trying to defend his position, kind of blocked the entire track and pushed Valtteri Bottas off the track. They gave him a 5-second penalty. So when when Max Verstappen and Lando Norris started battling, it was always going to be interesting. The first two battles, I think that Max Verstappen was moving in the braking zone. That's my interpretation of those moves he was making. He was moving in the braking zone. He shouldn't be allowed to do that. But they called it brilliant driving. The next few laps was brilliant driving because he just positioned his car in the good spot and Lando Norris couldn't overtake him. Then he made a mistake and Lando Norris came a little closer. So now Lando Norris had the opportunity to overtake Max. Max now pushed, in defending, he went off the track, which meant that Lando Norris also went off the track, and Lando Norris came back on the track ahead of him. Now people were saying he should give the spot back. I was like, no. If you push Lando Norris off the track, that should be a 5-second penalty. There's no need. Why are you telling him to give the space back? That should be racing. I don't care what you all say. But again, the same thing that they punished George Russell for, they did not punish Max Verstappen for. So even if Lando Norris finished ahead of him, they gave Lando Norris a 5-second penalty. And I agree with, if you overtake off the track and you don't give the spot back, you can give the 5-second penalty. But why is Max Verstappen overtaking people off the track and not getting 5-second penalty? Why is he pushing people off the track like George Russell and not getting 5-second penalty? It's like there's a set of rules for every other driver and a different set of rules for Max Verstappen. So the FIA have to explain to us why Max yesterday got away with going off the track twice and not getting a 5-second penalty, and with pushing Lando Norris off the track, just like George Russell did to Valtteri Bottas, and not getting a 5-second penalty. If they tell me why they did that, then I'll believe that there's no controversy. Otherwise, it is what it is. There is a law for other drivers, and there is a completely different set of laws for Max Verstappen, and it's becoming a little blatant now.
Becoming a little too blatant. They need to come out and explain to the entire world what exactly is going on here. Because you're not even hiding it anymore. Behave. All right, away from Formula One, let's talk some football now. And we are heading into the game between Arsenal and Bournemouth. Mikel Arteta has been speaking, and he admitted that Arsenal's shock 2-0 defeat at Bournemouth was an accident waiting to happen, as William Saliba's red card condemned them to a first Premier League loss since April.
Yeah, so tough one for Arsenal. The first thing I want to say is, with the Gunners, and I like the way he said it's an accident waiting to happen, because I understand having a man disadvantage, but I don't understand how Arsenal is losing to Bournemouth because of a man disadvantage. Don't get me wrong, this is not an insult to Bournemouth. This is questioning Mikel Arteta's tactics, because there were too many times that Arsenal had the ball and they didn't play well on the counter. instead of passing the ball forward, they'd rather hold the ball and keep possession than try to get a goal. I think Arsenal's first shot on target came in the 60-something minutes when Martinelli came on.
Mm.
First shot on target against Bournemouth. I don't care that you're one man down. They had ball possession and they chose, we are going to keep the ball. When you're one man down, what do? You contain. That one was good. But when you have the opportunity, you run at the defense. Arsenal didn't do that. They were just perfect in containing. And so Mikel Arteta saying it's an accident waiting to happen is really is. Because think about it, when they went one man down against Brighton, it was the same way they played. When they went one man down against Manchester City, it was the same way they played. And in both games, they dropped 2 points. I thought they should have been able to win against Manchester City, especially against Manchester City. It's not because of the quality of the opposition, but it was the opportunity that presented itself on the day. But all they were doing was playing Ropado football. Just defend. Yeah, just defend and defend and defend. Break away. So that even when the opponent is thinking of pressing, they'll remember that the last time you broke away, you almost scored. They should do that. And so this match against Bournemouth, if you didn't teach them anything, that is the one lesson they should have learned. Gave away one penalty, one easy goal from a corner. But ultimately, it is the way they played with one man down that made them lose the match, not the fact that they were one man down, if you understand what I mean. It's the way they played when they went one man down that made them lose the match. So yes, it's been an accident waiting to happen. He can complain about the disciplinary issues. We've played 3 matches now with one man down, and maybe he should start training to play matches with one man down. But the tactics he employs when he goes one man down is what I think he needs to revisit.
Most definitely. And of course, losing William Saliba for a game isn't going to make things any easier.
Yep, because up next Liverpool.
Liverpool at the Emirates next weekend, and of course, we know how Liverpool have been. We'll talk about them pretty soon on the show this morning. But we're going to take a very, very, very quick break. When we come back in, we'll talk Barcelona as well. Robert Lewandowski doesn't seem to be slowing down by any stretch of the imagination. Hansi Flick seems to have found that's key to unlock him. I don't know what's going on, what they're eating out there in Catalonia, but man, Barcelona are really flying high.
Yep,
at
the
this
Hansi
moment.
Crutch.
And of course, Gabby is back as well. We'll talk about all that and a whole lot more right here on the Locker Room on Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere.
Ayo, do we have messages?
Yeah, we have a couple. Like three on WhatsApp, 3 on YouTube.
So we'll come back with a couple of messages and then we'll go into the Barcelona story.
Okay. I just tried to stretch it so we enter that break. There was no point in continuing. Yeah. Okay, drink some water. All right, welcome back into the locker room on a Monday morning on Smooth 98.1, your love music, love life station. We love sports as well. You know this. It is 31 minutes past, okay, not 32 minutes past 8 a.m. Ayokunmi here. Tega is also in the building, even though veteran was still in the building this morning talking about the sporting news making the rounds from the weekend. Tega, welcome back into the conversation. Great to have
All
you in.
right, all right.
So for all those who'd love to, for you out there who'd love to listen to us this morning, or should I say, who'd love to talk to us this morning and share your thoughts, WhatsApp is the platform to do so. 0809 444 0981. You can also do that on YouTube. Drop a comment for us on our live stream at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Let me do one or two messages before we get back into the stories real quick. Ifedayo says, good morning, Super Tega and Super Ayokunmi. Yes, the Flamingos thrashed Ecuador 4-0. There actually was no consolation. For my darling Arsenal Football Bottling Club, I'm not surprised at all. Let's calm down now. Let's calm down. Chidozie
One
says,
match and the bottling club already.
I mean, imagine Spurs. But anyway, story for another day. Not having key players in critical positions like Saka and their captain and having a very efficient Saliba sent off earlier in the first half was enough of a disadvantage to losing a match irrespective of the opponent.
No, that's not true. They could have won irrespective of losing those people. Again, that's what I'm talking about. Tactics. They can lose Bukayo Saka and Odegaard and Saliba and still set up a tactics to win against Bournemouth. It's not three men that make a team. And that's my point exactly. Mikel Arteta is going to have to review because you're going to have injuries during the season. You are going to have suspensions during the season. So you will not win matches before some of your key players are not available to play. Then you're not ready to win the league. It's that simple.
All right, let me take some on YouTube. Uche Nwokoye says, everything is turning around for United. Our boys stood up and were counted. Eric Ten Hag and Ineos are cooking.
Just one match. Just one match.
I'm glad United won. At least Eric Ten Hag will keep his job for a few more weeks. The god of banter really knows what's up. Indeed, he does. At least I'm on the right side of banter today. All right, let's get back into the stories. Let's talk about Barcelona, where red hot Robert Lewandowski and Pablo Torres struck twice each as Barcelona hammered Sevilla 5-1 on Sunday to stay 3 points clear of Real Madrid at the top of La Liga ahead of next weekend's El Clasico.
Yeah, so the El Clasico is going to be really interesting. Real Madrid winning their game with experience and some luck because Celta Vigo had ample opportunity to, even before Real Madrid scored, two clear one-on-one chances that they missed. And then when it was time to equalize, they also missed two. It was them missing it, not necessarily Thibaut Courtois making himself big. So there was experience involved in Real Madrid winning, and there was some luck. But Barcelona just running riot over Sevilla. Again, Barcelona-Sevilla is no longer the match it used to be. Most in general, you will think that Barcelona will come out tops. But this season, Barcelona is playing by limited funds. And dipping their hands into the crutch system.
That's a kind way of saying it, Tega.
Yeah, let's just call it limited funds. It's Monday morning. Let's be kind. All right. So limited funds, dipping their hands into a lot of young players, and they're playing with some freedom that I don't know where Hansi Flick brought it from. And I think that freedom of expression is what has also released Lewandowski, because now he's the guy everybody's looking up to. Think about it. If you're a 19-year-old and you see Lewandowski, who at one time scored the highest number of goals in Europe on your team, you will give him the ball. Uncle, have at it. And Lewandowski, I think, is really settling down because last season was a bit of a struggle because he did see the ball last season, but he didn't score as many goals.
Right.
But this season
Right.
he's putting it in the back of the net, so he's kind of settled down into the system, and he understands the team he's playing with right now. So beautiful result for Barcelona, scoring goals are plenty. Also, even more incredible news, apart from the Pedri goal, is that Pedri and Gavi are now
Right.
available. Because when
Right.
you win Young Player of the Year and then you pick up long-term injuries like Pedri did, that one was mismanagement. That Pedri's injury, you cannot. Spain owes Barcelona huge because you played him in back-to-back major tournaments, and I don't know what you're expecting to happen to his body. So, but when after winning the Player of the Year, both of them had long term injuries. Gavi was out for about 8 months. How
I
long
think
was he out for?
quite a period. I think it was
Yeah,
an
quite a
ACL
period.
injury.
Yeah,
It was an ACL
yes,
injury
it was
that
an
he had.
ACL injury. So both of them, but it's good to have both of them back. Now, Lamine Yamal is the scapegoat. It's like Barcelona. It's like Barcelona brings up these young players for Spain to just kill. And so, so Lamine Yamal is the next one, but he's playing brilliantly and doing well for Barcelona again. So a lot of young players coming through for Barcelona. Now I want to see if against Real Madrid at their Clasico, their
Mm.
youthful naivety will catch them off guard, or their youthful arrogance will get them the result. Because that thing works both ways. Sometimes young people dare some things that old people don't do because old people have been beaten before. So they are a lot
That's
more
true.
cautious.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So youthful arrogance gets them something, but sometimes naivety also gets them young people in trouble. So let's see how it works for them. But so far so good. Barcelona flying high. Again, they still need to work out that defense because that goal that they gave away. I mean, in fact, that was the second goal they're giving away. I think the first one was ruled as offside, and then this one counted. Again, they were so high up the line that when they lost possession, they couldn't get back in position to defend. So defensively, they're still vulnerable. But if somebody scores 5 goals, I think they can give away one. Mm.
Not too
They can
bad.
afford
Not too bad.
it.
Definitely, definitely. All right, away from one team celebrating a great result to another team who did so in England, and that's Liverpool. Now, Arne Slot continued his superb start as Liverpool manager with his team's 2-1 victory over Chelsea on Sunday, their 10th win in their opening 11 games in all competitions. And of course, the Dutchman was very quick to praise his defense. I mean, he had to. Chelsea played a very good game.
Yeah, Chelsea played a very good game. Liverpool, not so much. Liverpool had brilliant moments in the game, but there were times in the game that it looked like they were driving on neutral. I don't know how else to say it because it was not even gear one now; they were on neutral. And so there were very forgettable moments in the game where Liverpool were just cruising through, and still Chelsea couldn't break through. Tough day for Chelsea because, like I said, they played brilliantly. They made a good one out of this one. When the first half ended 1-0, I was a little disappointed because I think Liverpool had the opportunity to score maybe two, and going to halftime 2 goals ahead. But they
Mm.
came back and they paid for it with Nicholas Jackson. It's like Mikel Obi should be abusing. Mikel Obi should come and abuse Gabriel Jesus. Maybe he will score. Yes. Ever since he picked on Jackson, Jackson has been
He's been
scoring.
scoring
So
goals.
yes, maybe he should pick on Jesus so that Jesus will score goal. Because at this point in time, Jesus should just retire honorably. He's not doing anything for us now. But let's go back to the Liverpool and Chelsea story. And Jackson came back scored a goal to make a good game out of it. But Liverpool always just looked like they had an extra game ahead in front of them. They scored a brilliant goal with Curtis Jones, who I think missed 2 opportunities to put Liverpool ahead. He
Mm.
was one of the people that didn't make Liverpool come out of that game with more goals. But it was like Chelsea were playing brilliantly. Liverpool had some forgettable moments, but Liverpool's defense stood tall. And and this is what I was talking about, individuals playing on the team. Because even when they brought Gomez in, he still did brilliantly. And that's what I'm talking about, Arsenal not being able to use the right tactics. It doesn't have to be about the individual. When you put
Right.
a player in, he should know the job to do. And so they brought in Gomez, and Gomez was just, and he helped the matter. Even on the other end, when Noni wanted to kill um, Robertson, what did Slot do? They double stacked that wing so that Madueke will not have easy access to because he was literally killing Robertson on that wing. And so so they had to double stack. So it comes down to tactics. So brilliant tactics by Arne Slot. Not a good result for Chelsea, but they'll be able to be happy that Lavia played, Rhys
Mm.
James played. Hopefully Rhys James has not picked up an injury. We've not heard anything. But he didn't play a bad game on the night. Even if he didn't play the full 90 minutes, the fact that he was able to play and he was able to play brilliantly. Those are the good news that Chelsea can walk away with.
Most definitely. All right, let's switch gears and we're still talking about the Premier League. Let's talk about the controversy that happened at Molineux. Wolverhampton Wanderers lost to Manchester City on Sunday was a tough one to swallow for boss Gary O'Neill, who said the contentious injury time goal that left them bottom of the Premier League was similar to the one that went against his team last season.
Okay, so let me put it this way. Silva is the way you position yourself. It's smart positioning. So Silva was standing by Sa right when the corner was taken, but as soon as the cross came in, he left Sa. He moved away from. So as the cross was coming in, he was running away from Sa. And so by the time the ball hit the back of the net, you couldn't say that Silva was impeding Sa,
Right.
even if he had put himself in Sa's mind. I don't know how to say it. It's a psychological game. So just hang around the goalkeeper. So now the goalkeeper is distracted by you instead of focused on the ball that is coming. And then leave at the right time so that even by the time the ball comes in, they cannot cancel the goal because factually, Silva had nothing to do with Sa. So yes, Silva was in an offside position. Bernardo Silva was in an offside position, but he was not impacting play. He
Mm.
was not impeding Sa. So it cannot count. So I guess it's a psychological games that people play. And I understand him saying that yes, when it was his time, he didn't get away with it. When it was other people's time, they got away with it. I don't. It's not the same. It's the movement where is a smart play. I think that's what you call
Right.
it. Because Arsenal employs this sometimes. They just disturb the goalkeeper until the cross comes in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then they score the goal. And people start shouting, "Oh, but he was impeding the goalkeeper." No, he wasn't. He just put himself in the goalkeeper's mind's eye. So now the goalkeeper is worried about players in his space, but at the same time, there are really no players in his place when the ball hits the back of the net. So I guess it's a psychological mindset that people use. Just stay around the goalkeeper long enough to distract him and then score the goal.
Exactly.
So tough one on Wolves because they really played brilliantly and they could have gotten away with at least a point. But unfortunately, Manchester City, they play for 99 and a half minutes. So
Mm. The hallmark of champions, if I can say
exactly.
so.
So you have to play for 99 and a half minutes. But since we've run out of time, I'll briefly touch on the fact that, Inter Miami has been given an opportunity to play at the FIFA Club World Cup. Remember, the FIFA Club World Cup has been expanded. Now, for me, I was wondering what the criteria for more teams to join would be. Turns out that if you win any trophy now and you're from either Saudi Arabia or America, and you have Ballon d'Or winners on your team, you get the
uh,
opportunity to play in the FIFA Club World Cup because that's what it is. I don't understand the rules anymore for this expansion, but somehow because Inter Miami won their league, scoring a record amount of points, and maybe because Lionel Messi is on that team, I think
maybe.
he scored 20 goals in 19 games. People. Benteke may have won the Golden Boot by scoring 23 goals, but Benteke played about 30 games to score 23 goals. Messi scored 20 goals in 19 games. That's lunacy. So
Those are messy numbers.
those are messy numbers. So I guess they are in it. So yes, we can cry about the criteria for the Saudi and the Inter Miami and the American teams getting on the FIFA Club World Cup team. But at the end of the day, if you spend good money to bring a Messi, chances are these are some of your benefits.
Mm, indeed. All right, let's run through a couple of messages as we end the conversation this morning. AY from Manuru says, Aya is speaking with confidence this morning because his team survived a turbulent Brentford and eventually won the match. I'm glad you added that at the end. Eventually won the match. All the other stuff doesn't really
You
matter.
know, you can argue with methods, you can't argue with results.
I'm telling you. He says, by the way, I'm still confused as to the reasons why the Premier League has blatantly refused to adopt and use the semi-automated offside technology. La Liga uses it so efficiently well, so why not the supposed best league in the world? They're still reviewing it. I don't know what they're reviewing still at this point in time.
Please leave EPL and officiating. They are not the best league in the world when it comes to officiating. You know this.
Tyre says, in motorsport, it's called animal farmism. Arteta been leading with haram tactics in helping because the point born, the point born for mouth. Tega, Arsenal have Sterling. Don't laugh because he said his best is yet to come. All right, thank you, Tyre. Let me take one more form from WhatsApp. Let me take this one from Larry from the abroad, who says one of the weird races where the focus was not on the winner, even though a Ferrari won was extremely rare. For all the flack Max gets, he showed us yesterday how good his defensive driving actually is. On YouTube, Uche Nwokoye says, Arsenal, a pity your players were so poor. A bad day at the office. Solid performance from Chelsea, though. Liverpool showing title credentials and City and their leaky defense a long season. Abiodun Bishop says the true test for Hansi Flick comes up this week as Barcelona gears up to face Bayern and Real Madrid. Let's wait and see. On that note, we're going to call it a morning on the locker room. Thank you all for the messages. Tega.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for streaming us on YouTube till we come your way again on Wednesday. Yes, because this week is going to be interesting with the UCL. Have a great and productive week.
All right, Tega, thank you so much. Do have yourself a great Monday. And of course, looking forward to having you again in on Wednesday. Lagos, keep you tuned. The Smooth 98.1, the Smooth Breakfast will continue. Don't go anywhere.